and back to the world events and politics astrology that I'm doing this August and September. This time we're looking at the natal chart of NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. So the North Atlantic Treaty, the legal basis of NATO, was signed in April 1949 when the Western countries came to the idea that the political and military control that the Soviet Union established over the Eastern Europe warrants some countermeasures. The final push was when in 1948-49 Stalin cut off land access to West Berlin, which convinced most of everyone in the West that their former ally in the World War II is actually their new enemy. The idea was that we have this powerful, militant, aggressive enemy. Let's unite and improve our chances to defend ourselves. So let's take a look at the natal chart of that. Here, so much is happening in the 7th house of partners and attention of open enemies. And what a coincidence, it's the Reds, by which I do not mean the Republicans in the United States. The Sun is here, so the identity is tied to having an opponent. Mars is here, so this opponent is perceived as dangerous or pushy, militant. Basically, NATO would have been impossible and unnecessary without this formidable opponent, and its identity hinges on having one. This abundance of planets in Aries is also why so many people have a problem believing that the purpose of NATO was defense or deterrence. This is also what usually happens when someone has a lot of planets in the 7th house. They start out seeing those qualities in their opponents first, but then year after year, decade after decade, they develop those qualities themselves. The chart also points at NATO having some real affinity with being defensive. See those squiggles? These are the karmic nodes, and the one on the left represents the karmic past that is so ingrained into one's habits that it becomes second nature. It's what comes naturally to a person, or in our case, a transnational organization. And believe it or not, it's actually diplomacy. Now, the squiggle on the right, I call the point of karmic clumsiness. It's what does not come naturally to a person or an organization, which doesn't mean it cannot be learned. It just takes a lot of time, and there's usually not a lot of confidence involved at first. Finally, this is Neptune, the only planet in the 1st house of identity, decision-making, and self-presentation. And this foggy planet is making all of that a little bit nebulous for NATO. And bonus material, NATO's sun is in direct opposition to Putin's sun. So no wonder that Putin was so oppositional to it.